Hold on one second. We about to get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. This don't make no sense whatsoever. Welcome to the Dark Waters channel, where we explore mysteries, figure out the truth, dive into politics, and anything else you want to know about. That's what we doing over here, baby. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the rest of the news, Jimmy Carter has passed away. He has passed away. Rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. Found something interesting on X that I think we should take a listen to. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, and I'm back. And before I start this next video talking about what's going on in the world of politics, I don't really see nothing in the strange world going on at this point in time. I think you should know that there is an epic snowstorm and cold front on its way to destroy everything that you love. And so I'm checking over with Weatherman Plus, my official weatherman. Hopefully my homie don't get mad because I'm going to grab a snippet of him talking. But it's important. I want you to see his face, and I want you to go to his channel. There it is, Weatherman Plus. Go holler at him. If you want the news and you want it quick, concise, straightforward, and you want a prayer at the end, this is where you go to. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really going to be, like, he ain't going to drag it on for 5 hours. He get on, he tell you what's happening, and he right. So go check out my man on Weatherman Plus, because he be right, and he quick and get to the point. He ain't around here all the rest of that foolishness. And what I love about him is he don't make it complicated. You know what I'm saying? He ain't using no big words, and it's not. He's sure of himself. He's not trying to prove to you that he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about, so he just tell you what it is, and then he go on about his business. But this is what's coming down the pipeline.
Coming in, bringing all the heavy snow and the blizzards with it as well. I'm seeing a lot of winds. And you can see the update on the Arctic Oscillation. So it is bringing down that very cold air. All these models are in agreement all the way to, from the 7th through the 9th.
So you talking about January 1st, well, really January 5th to the 9th, it's going to be cold, Arctic cold air. You see it right there. He showed you on the graph. See, that's the 5th. That's the 9th. Go ahead, finish talking to him, homie.
DFS is actually hinting that it could last a little bit longer with another lobe of the polar vortex coming down. I will show you. But the rest of them are just showing that it is going to be that initial big blast coming in for the first half of January. And you can see this here when you look at your tropopause. This is where all your weather comes from. So here you are right here. This is your polar vortex temperatures. This is your cold front of your Arctic blast. So as you keep coming, you can see in the beginning of January, we still got that nice Arctic blast coming through. This is going to bring you that big snowstorm that I was just showing you all the way out through the Northeast. But watch how the polar vortex temperatures comes all the way down into the lower 48. That is
damn. That's terrible.
Bringing your negative, your
you know the craziest thing? I say this all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I say, hey, bro, you know, we got weather modification. And I say, bro, they got some wicked people. And we had a hurricane go slam those people right there in that area. That when my man was, Weatherman Plus was covering it, he was like, yeah, this is crazy. It's kind of doing stuff we never see him do. And I remember I was like, nah, it's because they driving a hurricane in that direction. So what you're trying to tell me is these people over there in North Carolina done got hit with a historic hurricane, and now the Arctic, what did he call it? Anomaly? What did Chris call? What do you call it, homie? What do you call this thing? Say it again, dog.
Blast. So as you keep coming, you can see in the beginning of January, we still got that nice Arctic blast coming through. This is going to bring you that big snowstorm that I was just showing you all the way out through the Northeast. But watch how the polar vortex.
That's what he called it. So what you're trying to tell me is the damn polar vortex, out of all the places the polar vortex could reach down to, the polar vortex reaches right dead smack in the area where everybody got hit by the damn hurricane. Almost looked like a sperm trying to impregnate an egg right there. And I was saying, bruh, it don't make no sense why we having these storms this time of year like this. Like, we don't have December storms where you got tornadoes in December. It just don't happen like that. I was like, this don't make no damn sense. What the hell is going on with the weather? Well, now we see it. I don't know what they want from these people. People say they got rare earth minerals and gold and all this stuff on their land. I don't know what they want from them people. I don't know why they targeting them people like that. But those people are clearly being targeted. Nobody's going in to help them. They were stopping people from flying drones into the mountains to help them. I don't know what the hell they're doing to those people, why they're doing it to them, but we need to pray for those people, point blank, period, in that area of the nation, because that's targeted. I mean, it's you add in the fact that we just had like epic rainstorms, so you got epic moisture, followed by, I mean, hell, and 3-4 days later, you gonna freeze, and a lot of these people are still in tents. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man, it's like somebody's playing games out here in these streets. Let me let y'all finish hearing what he got to say.
That is bringing your negative, your subarctic temperatures, sub-zero temperatures on down, trying to curve right towards the southeast and the Carolinas. This is going to be some very bad temperatures. At the same time, that is what's going to make for this big historic potential snowstorm and blizzard that is coming with it. So it's not just going to be a regular Arctic blast coming through. This is going to be cold. Like I told people in Texas last time it happened, make sure you get a tent. If you put a tent up in your living room, put some blankets over the top of it. If you lose power, you can stay warm inside of that tent. But you can see here how the lobe of that polar vortex brings in those negative temperatures. This is your temperatures, not even your wind chills. Brings in these negative temperatures all the way towards the south, all the way towards the Carolinas and the southeast. Very cold temperatures. And when you bring in your wind chills, it just gets ridiculous.
Damn. So you're trying to tell me these people going to be negative 30 degrees, negative 14 degrees, negative 12 degrees.
I've been reporting this for quite some time, and we're talking about a ridiculous number coming down with these temperatures. Look at this. This is your wind chills as that lobe comes down. And not to mention what comes down for the upper Midwest, North Central, negative 40, almost negative 50 degree wind chills. And it does go towards the northeast with all this. This is going to be a nasty front coming through, but I can't stress enough how dangerous this is going to be. I know you're excited, but please think of others, think of your pets. Please help share this information down below, right where you hit that like and that subscribe.
All right, that's enough. I don't mean steal no more of your stuff, homie. I'm going to leave your face up here so everybody can see you. Listen. Subscribe to my man Weatherman Plus. That's my homie. I ride through hurricanes with Weatherman Plus. I ride through everything with Weatherman Plus. And I'm always ahead of stuff because of him. So I'll call people a week ahead of time, be like, yo, we got a tornado or hurricanes coming, not tornadoes, hurricanes coming to hit New Orleans. You need to start prepping. And I'll start prepping, and everybody will be like, man, what you doing that for? I'll be like, because they got hurricanes coming towards the area. I want to make sure I got what I got. And then 2 days before or 3 days before, normally on a Saturday, the local news picks up on it. Local news is like, yeah, potential hurricane. And then 2 days, like a day before, it's like, yeah, this is coming our way for sure. And now there's this panic. But I'm sitting back watching people go to the gas station, get their gas, act a fool, because I got Weatherman Plus. You know what I'm saying? That's why I call him my Weatherman. Anyway. That's enough promotion. The point I'm making is this, ladies and gentlemen. It don't make no damn sense that the storm is targeting those people right there. And I want you to understand something. All this is happening January 11th. That is 9 days away from Inauguration Day. And it looks as if, I won't say that negative, and the weatherman could probably speak to this because he would know better than I would. Now that I think about it, we potentially could go into the inauguration with power outages all over the United States. I didn't hear him say anything about ice storms. And that's the thing that's getting me. I don't remember him mentioning ice storms, but I knew if we literally get ice storms, that them power lines going down. And so I think we potentially going into the inauguration day with an epic disaster on our hands. Power outages all over America. And I'm going to be praying against this. I want you to pray against it too. Power outages all over America, especially across the South. I mean, negative 24, negative 17, negative 10. The craziest thing is that kind of stuff normally happens in Arkansas and Oklahoma. But nonetheless, it's almost as if Satan and his crew that's in there with Joe Biden is saying, man, we got to get in every blow we can get in. We got to get in every lick we could get in. We're going to destroy them all. Get them all now. Weather storms. Give away all the money. It's almost like they just want to do everything they can do. I mean, that's just what it strikes me as. Every little thing they can get away with doing, they're doing.
Subscribe. There's a
All right. Catch up with you later, Mark. All right. So, next thing I want to talk to you about. It's important that we understand while all this is going on, and I mentioned this earlier, it was almost as if the planned attack that we're looking at on America is done by AI because it's almost too perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's pinpointed. It's precise. It's like somebody took a little scalpel and they said, okay, let me just cut right here. And I'm going to put this little cut. And then all this blood going to come out. And it's over and over and over again. I believe that the deep state is using AI to plan attacks. The godfather of AI, Geoffrey Hinton, warns of existential threat to humanity within a decade. Now, I don't know if you guys remember earlier when we were covering him, I talked about this guy, and he actually was the one that said, no, this is dangerous. It's gotten to the point to where it was dangerous. He was with Google, and it was maybe 5 years ago he was with Google, and he left because he said, no, this is getting out of hand. I mean, it scared him to the point to where he wanted to leave. Listen to.
What is the source of this? The abuse of women, essential slavery, human trafficking, on and on.
Well, it's the worst human rights abuse on earth, and it's basically unaddressed. I'll start with the worst statistic that I know, and that is that 160 million girls are now missing from the face of the earth because they were murdered at birth by their parents, or either selectively aborted when the parents find out that the fetus is a girl. So that's many people are missing, and they're all girls who are missing. The second,
and how many countries represented in this?
A good many countries. I don't know how many parents in America would rather have a boy than a girl if they're very poor and they feel they can't support children. But in about 15 years ago, there was an accurate assessment in China, and 50 million were already missing there because the Chinese government had mandated one is best, two is most. Mm-hmm. And then India has had the same problem with them, and in many other countries as well. So now, for instance, in China and India and South Korea and some other countries, young men can't find brides to marry. So they buy brides, and that increases the amount of slavery that exists on earth. The slave trade now is much greater than it ever was in the 19th century. It amounts to about $32 billion a year. And the United States State Department is required by law now to assess the slavery market. And they estimate that 800,000 slaves are sold across international borders every year. And 80% of those slaves sold are young girls who are being sold into the sex slavery.
I wonder what happened to all the feminists. Where the feminists at? They don't give a damn about this. They give a damn about being able to drink their Starbucks lattes and bossing their husbands around and having a job and being independent. I would like to know what the real feminists are nowadays. But nonetheless, rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. I know a lot of people talking bad about you. But Jimmy, you came on air and you just told the truth, homie. And if we had more presidents and more people that would just tell the truth, then we would see the world for what it is. If nobody want to tell the truth, man, rest in peace, Jimmy. Let's get to the show. And this is him talking about it.
In the Industrial Revolution, we made human strength irrelevant. Now we're making human intelligence irrelevant. And that's very scary. So there's some areas where demand is very elastic. An example would be healthcare. If I could get 10 hours a week talking to my doctor, I'm over 70, I'd be very happy. So if you take someone and make them much more efficient by having them work with a very intelligent AI, they're not going to become unemployed. It's not that you're now only going to need a few of them. You're just going to get much more healthcare. Great. So in elastic areas, it's great. There's some areas that are less elastic, like I have a niece who answers letters of complaint to a health service. She used to take 25 minutes to answer a letter. Now she can just scan the letter into ChatGPT. It'll give an answer. She'll look at it, check it's okay. That's 5 minutes now. I suspect they'll need less people like that. It may be everybody can complain a lot more, but I suspect they'll need less people like that. So some jobs are elastic, others aren't. The non-elastic ones, I think people will lose their jobs. And what's going to happen is the extra wealth created by the increase in productivity is not going to go to them.
And I would have to agree. It's a new wealth transfer, and the wealth that's created is not going to the people who lost their jobs. And honestly, in order for that new wealth that would be created for it to go to the people who lost their jobs, means you have to be inside of a form of government where everybody just gets paid, a stipend on a monthly basis. And I don't want to be involved in that. You know what I'm saying? When you have a basic minimum income, which goes to all the plans of the quote unquote Illuminati to put everybody on their own basic minimum income, but that would mean that's where we're headed. Now, you may be saying, well, damn, DW bouncing around. Let me weave it back around. How do we get to AI? Because we notice the things that are going on around us are pinpointed attacks. All the way back to my first video, this seizing upon Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, the H-1B visas. It was a different feel to this attack, to me. Like, it's more crisp. It's more pinpointed. And I think the reason why it's more crisp and more pinpointed is because I know that the troll forms that used to operate on the internet were actual people that were hired to run different accounts. I think now the troll forms are AI themselves. And I think that's why it feels different when you get hit with the comments. It almost feels unnatural. But I don't know. It's hard to explain it. The point I'm making to you is this. Although we are in a time where things could be going well, we're in a very dangerous time. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're in an extremely dangerous time, and you need to be paying attention. We got weather anomalies going on all over the place. We got AI being used all over the place. We got wars, not rumors of wars, but we got wars going on. And then on top of all that, you have foreign nations and NGO entities protesting in America with Palestinian flags riding up and down the street like this ain't America. And the craziest thing is, if you and I were to go out there with our trucks and pull up and oppose them, the police would arrest us. And I can understand them trying to get it in while they can. But see, this kind of stuff got to come to an end. It's got to stop. I mean, you don't see nobody. Well, I'm not going to say that. There's been color revolutions that the CIA has been responsible for in foreign nations. So what you're seeing is the fomenting of a revolution inside of America. I don't think it's going to stand, but it has had its opportunity to thrive over the past 4 years. And this is something that has to stop. Now, I'm just going to tell you the reason why it has to stop without saying the reason why it has to stop. And I'm going to pause. I'm going to make it big so you can see it. I think that may be too big. It might have been a little bit too big. I think that might have been a little bit too big. But I'm going to show you why it has to stop. And I know that American women are so independent that they're crazy right now. That I don't need a man. I don't need a man. But I want you to look at who's in these trucks. And I want you to realize that your daughters do not need to be dealing with this in the near future. I want you to look at the faces in this crowd. I want you to understand. This ain't the Antifa people. Look at the crowd. Remember how Antifa was a whole bunch of little college white kids running around like they was crazy? Look at the crowd. Part of this is the real deal. And I want you to understand this. This part of this is the real deal. And I'm not going to get my channel in trouble, but all I'm going to say is you can only imagine with the border being open, the way it's been open for the past 4 years, the quality and type of individual who's come here. And don't you think for a second that the American government is the only government that has what we would call a CIA or or special groups that specialize in overthrowing nations. And if you can't overthrow a nation, you need to get a beachhead so you overthrow a city. You understand what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to tell you. So get your mind right. Pay attention, man. I quite frankly hope that, Donald deal with all these liberal mayors who seem to have lost their freaking minds. It's crazy. They need to be checked all over the place. This should not be happening because it's essentially you guys got the right, the First Amendment, you got the right to free speech, you got the right to assemble. Yeah. We got the right to do that, but do you have the right to be here doing that? Now, who is you? But see, they so liberal, they won't pull up and say, yo, who is you? Let me see your ID. But let my nigga behind walk up and down the street in the wrong neighborhood. Boop, boop, whoop, whoop, whoop. What you doing around here? Where you going? But you ain't gonna pull up on them. Whoop, 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 whoop. Shit. Y'all better start pulling up.